What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's daily devotional, man. And we're in the book of John. We're studying who Jesus is, looking to dive deep into the nature and the person of the second part of the Trinity, Jesus, man. But in understanding who Jesus is, we've also gotten to see who the Father is, because Jesus says that everything he does mimics or resembles or shows who the Father is. And then here soon we're about to get to dive into the Spirit, to the Holy Spirit, and see what he has to say and what his purpose is and his role in the Godhead. So not just Jesus, but it is primarily Jesus. We all about Jesus here. That's why it's called Trust in Jesus Ministries. So what we do here is help you to trust in Jesus with a bunch of various things, but this specifically is by diving in his word every day. And so I'm glad you're here, man. And I hope that you enjoy this and it helps you to grow closer to him as we learn more about him. So we're in John chapter 15, verse 22 through 25. If you haven't read it yet, go ahead and stop the tape, see what it's got to say. Come back, we'll answer 4 questions. If you have read it, then we're going to go ahead and dump in. We're going to dive in, guys. So what's going on, man? Jesus says some different things this time as he speaks with them about the final things that it feels necessary for them to know before he leaves and goes to the Father. He spoke about that the world's going to hate them, and he spoke about how they need to serve each other. And now he says something kind of odd. He says that if he wouldn't have came, they wouldn't have had sin. He's talking about the world. The world wouldn't have had sin. And then he continues and says that the works that I do, they've seen, like all these magnificent and wonderful things that they've seen. And because of that, they have sin. And it says, and they hate him and the Father. It says that this was to feel, and this is a little side note we may talk about a little bit, and it'll refer back to what we talked about earlier in the Davidic Psalms. But it says, and this is to fulfill the scriptures, that they hate me without cause. So what's this saying, man? What's this even mean? This is a difficult one, man, but I think what Jesus is saying is the central focus of sin. Like, they wouldn't have sin except that they recognize who Jesus is and they don't believe. That is the central focus of sin, especially in this book that John is writing, is that he is saying it is belief in Jesus, that he is the unique Son of God. That is the thing that we have been called to know, to respond to. And if we do not respond accordingly, if we respond with unbelief, this is sin. This is the chief sin. Matter of fact, I've heard so many different pastors and preachers and evangelists and missionaries speak the same thing, that it is not you drinking or drugging or sex before marriage, homosexuality, killing, all of these things is not the actions that will send you ultimately to hell. What ultimately sends you to hell is unbelief, not trusting in Jesus. And so I think that is what he is saying. If he wouldn't have came in this capacity to reveal who the Father was, live this life of sinlessness and miracles to show and reveal that he is the unique Son of God, the one who has come as a representative of the Father. If he wouldn't have done this, then that belief, that trust, that ability to place faith in him to be saved from sin wouldn't have been possible. And so I think that is the main focus and the crux of what Jesus is saying here. And what's even worse is that when he does come and reveal himself, they hate him. That's the sin, is that they hate him. So what does it say about the Father? Is that the Father is revealed through Jesus. Jesus is the ultimate revelation of the Father. The final word spoken is what it says in Hebrews. Jesus himself says that when you see him, you have seen the Father. And so Jesus is a representative or a revealing of the love, the character, the nature, and the wonder of the Father. And secondly, in order to believe in Jesus, or the order to believe in the Father, you must believe in Jesus. And Jesus is the only way to the Father. What's this say about man? Well, mankind, it says that the primary sin, the chief sin, the sin that is the sin of sins, we always say there's no hierarchy of sin. But this, I believe, is the chief sin, which is unbelief. That is the sin that damns people to hell. And I think that is important for us to recognize, is that it's not all the things we've done. The Father forgives us, and that's why he sent his son Jesus to die on the cross. But it is unbelief that cannot be changed. So how do we apply these truths to our lives, man? Well, if that's the case, then our urgency for those who don't believe should grow. It should stir up in us an evangelism, a desire to tell others about the wonder of Jesus so that they might believe, that they may see the things that Jesus has done, the actions that he's taken, and the words that he's spoken, so they may come to know him and be a part of his kingdom. So the question is, who are you looking to? This goes back to exactly the thing that we've been talking about in being the vine and the branches, as Jesus has said, to produce and bear fruit. Where are you bearing fruit at? Where are you bearing fruit at? Hey, I appreciate you guys for listening, man, and I will see you in the next episode.